it is, well, I don't know, because we dashed later, that are on 55. That was 59, so it's a little warmer. Here, yeah, pipeline. Today is our declaration day for yield max funds. Again, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is just me babbling about nothing really. Lady at PL2Y, which is following the Palantir, sorry, ski policeman. Following the underlying of Palantir, came out with this payday of 3K month. $3.26 they're going to pay this month for holding one share. Well, we're used to a little better paydays. It's still 63%. I will ask anybody I know that holds stocks, how do you feel about getting a 63% return? These people look at you like you lost your mind, and they will say, how were you able to get a 63% return for a stock when people are usually happy with 5 or 6%? Well, our ETFs that I follow, they're in the yield max funds. Lucky you get to see the dogs. Get to see the dogs get up, stay there. This is why we're actually out, because of them. So my yield max funds do a lot of options, covered calls. I buy sells, buy calls, sell puts, sell spreads. Oh, they do all kinds of fun stuff with options with PLTY. A lot of mumbo jumbo money, but really, it's 63% return. That's not too shabby. That's better than the bank. What's the bank gonna pay you? Not even 1%, not even 0.5%. All the other shares, you hear everybody, CNBC and investing channels. Oh, this pays a 3% return every year. This pays a whatever return. Goodness gracious. Folks, if you could do better, why wouldn't you? I understand the need for solid growth, but again, if you don't know the difference between income and growth, you're gonna be lost. We do it for the income. I like the income that this provides. Right now, it's not big enough. I don't hold enough to make it worthwhile to have it a pair, but more importantly, it's in my Roth, so I can't take it out. It stays in my Roth. But speaking of staying, I don't know, my dogs want, they're up here around somewhere. But so we pulled all that. We have 597 shares of PL2Y. That means we're gonna bring home Monday just under $2,000 for a month. It's not bad. That's almost $500 a week just for holding a share. Now this is the money I have in there. What do I have in Play D? I think I have about 25 grand of worth of Play D. So that's paid me $2,000 a month. It has paid me a hell of a lot more. It's paid me $7 a share at one point. But my shares fluctuate, and I understand that. And still, 63% return. That's hard to beat. That's hard to shake a stick at and be upset. That's pretty damn good. So, while I wish it was higher, everybody does. Speaking of higher, this is what I forgot. Shit. Oh well. And the looking at my dog controller, my collar controller. We went to the airport yesterday with the dogs, totally not talking about finances, and I had their collars on. And we got halfway into our walk, and I realized I don't have the controller. So if I don't have their controller, I can't control, obviously, the collars. They're pretty much, they can do whatever they want to do. Luckily, they're so used to having the collars on and me having the controller that they still act as if I had the controller. So it was really nice. It shows they are growing, though they still can be big pricks at times. We have a new neighbor that moved into our HOA. She moved in over the last couple of days. She has a beagle. Thing's about 6 inches tall. It's about 3 feet long. It looks like it weighs about, I don't know, 100 pounds. It's a big dog. My dog, they're inside. It was probably 6:30. My dogs are barking at it in the street. And this idiot stops in front of our house. What the fuck are you doing? If my dogs are barking because of your dogs looking like a treat, I sure as shit wouldn't stop in front of somebody's house. Jesus Christ. So I'm sitting in the chair, I yell through the window, it'd be nice if you'd keep walking, keep going. Shit, get out of here. My dogs finally stopped barking. Well, let's go to the reason why my dogs barked. When we moved into that area, we were the only ones that lived there. There were 3 houses that were there. There was ourselves, my wife, and a young couple up front, and then that was it. So we were in the back. We had no neighbors. We had nothing but woods all over the place. This is before we became an HOA. It was still considered development, so we were the only ones back there. Well, not paranoid, but I do I'm cautious. I like to be prepared. I'm not a prepper, but I do like to be prepared. So part of that is owning self-defense, I guess. Put it under a big umbrella. But part of that is also having the dogs. Because my dogs are the first line of defense. My dogs are the first things that tell me that something's going on. I don't mind them barking at people walking across the road, because then I know that people are out there. Yeah. So that's what they do. They're not real ferocious, I guess. They're more bark than bite. But yeah, that's what they are for, the first line of defense. And if you happen to want to try to break into my house, then you're the first and second lines of defense, because I honestly don't think you'd be able to get far into the house without shooting them or bring a treat. That would certainly do it. That would certainly do it too, because they are big babies when it comes to food. Crazy. But I have no idea where this came from. Talking about dogs, talking about money. Goodness gracious. Ow! Jeez, this is soaked in bug spray, DEET, whatever, trying to keep the bugs off. But there's no wind, so the bugs are thick. It's gonna rain here today, later on, so it's kind of heavy. No, it is nice and chilly. It's still, fuckers. It was either coming here or we were going to go to the airport. But we went to the airport yesterday. I tried not to do the same with them 2 days. They get bored. I get bored. So, what do we have? We had a winter We had a good amount of that. That was our anti-misty play. Every time MicroStrategy Bitcoin went down, winter would go up. So I was playing an anti-Bitcoin play. Played that for about a month. I ended up 150 up, I think. So we cashed out and put that money into what they have. It's MSII or MS2 if you're part of Rod's crew. It is a Rex Hill. Excuse me. It is a Rex fund. I apologize for not knowing the name of the. I hear Rex, I think of Sexy Rexy, but yeah, I think it's Rex something, Rex Hill. They have this fund, MS2. It's a MicroStrategy. It's like a MSTY clone. It's yeah, I really don't know what. Well, I know what they do. I haven't dug into it really in depth to see what it does. I want to throw a little bit of money at it to see how it works when the market's up, the market's down. I got some graphs that all I have to do is plug in some numbers and stuff like that. It's fun. I don't see, well, I do see numbers and, oh, sorry, bud. Like I said before, I see patterns. And so if I'm able to see a whole bunch of numbers and start making sense in the columns and rows and graphs and pods, and then I could usually, hopefully, find a pattern in all that. That is how last year, toward the end of the year, October of last year, I got into quantum computing. The stocks of QBTS, QBTS, QBT, D-Wave, IonQ, Rigetti computers. Oh, what else do we have? There are some other ones, small offshoots. But those are the big ones. We played with those for, goodness, a month. Riding up, riding down, trading this, trading that, selling it, keeping it. I actually got in trouble from Schwab because we were doing too much of the, what they call that, roller coaster, up and down. You buy it, what was it? I sold it. So if I bought stock A yesterday, that's fine. I could sell it today because I held it for 24 hours. And this was before I think it's before my margin. I was approved for margins. So I couldn't trade money that I didn't have, if that makes sense. So I'll start that example over again. So I would buy stock A this morning at 9:30 when the market opens up. I would make my money by 10 o'clock. I would make, and this is just hypothetical. This is example of how I got in trouble. So I'd sell it at 10, make my money. Then I would buy an entire new stock. I would buy stock B with the money that I just made on Group A, stock A. And then I would still be holding the B stock until 3:30, and then when I make my money on that, then I'd sell it. Well, that's against the Charles Schwab's, whatever. So they hit me, what was it, 90 days of, I couldn't trade on margin. I had to wait for all my trades to clear, which usually took oh gosh, a day and a half. It wasn't long. I remember when I first started out, you had to pay $9.95 for every trade you had to do, and that took 2 weeks to finalize. There's a word I'm missing for that, but execute now. Yeah, so it was back in the day. It was horrible, but now it's trade for free. You don't have really that many restrictions, but you do have that up and down restriction. So they told me for 90 days I couldn't trade on margin, which means I had to wait until, if I sold a group A, I'd have to wait until that stock sold. I'd have to wait until Charles Schwab got their money. Then Charles Schwab would send it over back to me, which would usually take a day or a day and a half. And then I could do step number 2 and buy something else. That was horrible. That's like taking Usain Bolt, one of the fastest people in the world, and tying a leg or cutting off a leg. Here, go run. Like, you're so used to running that all of a sudden you can't. You're like, well, shit. And I remember the first day I was trading under my super secret probation where I couldn't trade on margin. And it was, one and done. I couldn't do anything. I sold some stock, hopefully to get some money so I could throw it into something else, and I had to wait a day. I couldn't, it was just unfathomable that I had to wait. Not because I'm that good of a trader, but because I'm so used to being able to jump in and out of stocks without, much penalty. Every once in a while, I get an email from Schwab. Oh, you're within 3. Now I'm starting to remember back there was 4 times. Okay, 4 times a week you could do that. If you did it more than up and down, selling your stuff the same day. You do that up to 4 times. If you did that more than 4 times a week, they would slap your hand with that 90-day no margin trade. That's what happened. I did it more than 4 times in a week. So once they told me that, yeah, you can only do it for, you can do it 4 times a week. If you do it 5, then you get in trouble. So, of course, me being the smart guy, I'm right up to the edge. Hey, my light's on. How do I turn that off? All right, let's see how it's on. So we would do right up to the edge. We'd do 3, 4 trades, and then I'd honestly be done. I couldn't do it anymore because I'd know if I kept trying to make a trade like that, I'd eventually get in trouble. And then they would ban me from trading and they'd kick me off their platform and I'd have to go somewhere else. Well, I'm not beholden to Schwab. I do like familiarity. Whatever. It's familiar to me with the buttons and where everything's at. It's easy. So, we walk here all the time. This is new. How you know it's new? Look at the bottle. This is within the last, whatever. But since we walk back here, since we live not more than a quarter mile away, yes, we drove here. Yeah, we could have walked through the woods. But the woods full of ticks, and I'm not ready to get rained yesterday, so it's all wet. I don't want to get wet yet. But yeah, that's how Charles Schwab knocks you in the head. You can obviously have more than 25 grand, so now I don't think I'm under that rule anymore because I have more than 25 grand in my account. But regardless. So Palladium's gonna pay us $326 today. That's all right. That's bringing us $1,900. That's an extra. That's pretty good. I'm all right with that. We're at the pipeline. We're at the turnaround spot now. It's time. Somebody's looking at poop. So with them being out here today, this this means that we're gonna have to take another walk this afternoon. Which is not a bad thing, we don't mind, but it's gonna rain, so we gotta use our time wisely. Alright. We're gonna turn around. God, I got a fucking bug in my ear. Fucking. You know, you get those bugs that get in your ear and they can't get out. You're like, God damn it. But Plage is gonna pay us the money. We didn't stick around to see what everybody else is gonna pay. What else do we own? We own MS2, MSII from Rex, Plady. I own some Misty, MSTY. That's a whole nother ball game right there. Misty plays with Bitcoin with strategy as their underlying stock, and their stock, Bitcoin is doing fine. Misty, on the other hand, MSTY is goodness gracious, folks. An 86-cent estimated dividend? Yikes. That is horrible. When they used to pay, man, I first paid from Misty was $4 a share. Then it got down to $2. And then it got lower. And now it's going lower. Oh my goodness. So we're looking at it going, why is it going lower? And I'll be honest, I don't know enough about the IVs and implied volatility of the IV stock. Why it's going down. I know volatility is a good thing when you're trading options, and that's how YieldMax makes my money for me, their money for me, is by options, but I don't know how the IV works, how it gets higher, how it gets lower. I would have thought that all this hubbubaloo over in the Middle East with Israel and Iran and all the other fuckers that want to blow up the world, that would bring the IV up as it brings up the VIX in the regular stock market, the volatility index. Again, I have a problem saying my L's. L. I don't put my tongue all the way forward for little. I keep my tongue in the back. Weird. I don't know why. Yeah, it's buggy out here. Goodness. Should have redone my bug juice. Uh-oh. We heard cracking back there, so that means the dogs are back there. We'll give them. Oh, no, I got one. Okay, they're both back there now. We'll give them a whistle so they remember they're here. Oh, here he comes. Good boy. Good boy. And it's Ruckus, the one that could be instigator. It's Ruckus. What's up, big boy? You don't see any quills. His face is wet. He doesn't stink, so that's a good thing. That's a bingo. So we got what do we have? A colonoscopy next week. That's gonna be fun. I have got a little spot on my ass, on my cheek, that we're gonna take a look at while I'm got my ass exposed to the doctors. Gonna take a look at that. I'll be honest to say with you, I had a buddy of mine die last year of colorectal cancer. And everything he told me that he went through, start, beginning, the middle, I got to hear everything. It was wonderful. Gotta be honest, I'm looking at steps 1 and 2 that he was telling me about, so I'm kind of a little freaked out a little bit. Not really freaked out. I don't really freak out much, but I have a concern, but not much of a concern, because if it does happen to be something that's not favorable in my favor, I'm not that kind of person where it's, que sera, sera. I've had a great life. And this is no way, any way of saying that whatever happens, happens. I obviously want to live forever, but I was thinking about the last couple of days. I've had a great life. Good Lord. I lived in a foreign country for 4 years. I have loved the deepest that I possibly can. I have also mourned as deep as I can possibly think. But, man, there's something in there. I can hear him moving around. I hope the dogs don't hear it. But it's not moving. They don't smell him yet. Whatever it is. No, they do. Mac, come on. This way. So yeah, we have a great life. Jesus. Yeah, that wouldn't be a deer, because the deer would be so skittish that deer would be gone in a heartbeat. Oh my goodness. There is something back here that we have heard a couple of weeks ago that was following us up. There's a ridge up there that you could hear something going. Sorry, man. I ran my dog. What was that? 2 weeks ago we heard trees cracking. So these guys are gonna get ready to get on a jog. What? Rock back. What's up? Come on. Wow. Get him. There they go. Oh, no. Usually it takes about 2 or 3 tries to get them going. That was step 1. But wife was out here about a month ago, and she said she heard panting, like something in the woods. So it very well could be a bear. There's been a sighting of a bear over to the east, about a mile or 2 up in the woods. Somebody's property got broken into, bird feeders and shit like that. So they figured that was a bear. That's fine. They're bears. They're more scared of you than we are. Yeah, they're more scared of you than you are of them. And also the deer and everything else that's up here. We are very fortunate to have bear and wildlife and deers and turkeys and all that fun kind of stuff living up here. See the damage that the ice storm did. Still, these are all the dying branches. That ice storm just absolutely killed us. That's the wrong thing. Absolutely decimated the area up here. We have finally finished cleaning up the HOA. Chris, the grapple guy, came by and asked if he could put the last of the wood on our property. We have the only clear plot of land up in the HOA, which is also the nicest and highest piece of land. Got a plane coming by. Waving to him, see if he does his tip his wings. Yeah, it's buggy. Holy smoke. We're gonna get the bug out of here. It's really buggy. But it's gonna be, we got a little storm coming. Where is he? That's buggy. Yeah. I don't like it being buggy. That tree lost its top. Sit right there. Yeah, we had a big ice storm the end of March. It started on a Saturday. I got out of work on Saturday. My coworker's car was glazed in ice, as was my Jeep. Kind of laughed, and we knew it was going to be icy. Okay, well, this is as bad as it gets. That's not too shabby. Well, that wasn't as bad as it got. It got worse. Saturday, made it home. Sunday morning, get a call. Well, I got a text, I think, at 4 in the morning. Power's out, so don't worry about coming into work. We go and walk the dogs Sunday morning around the area, and it's at 6:30, it's almost 7 somewhere, and our light went out. That we have a light outside our house for a street light. That went out. Like, well, shit, power's out. So we were expecting, excuse me. Oh, here comes the Detroit plane. We were expecting power to be out for, I don't know, a couple hours. Ended up, power was out for 4 days. We didn't get power back until Wednesday at 3 o'clock. This is at 8 o'clock. That's at 8 o'clock from Detroit. So yeah, the ice storm had 4 days. That was all day Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Was nothing but rain, ice. We had easily a half-inch of ice on everything up here. All the trees, the bits of it all was on the power lines. There were people that did not have power, I want to say, for a month because we're so far up north that we still have people that live on a one-line road. There's only one line of power going to the road, and the road could be miles long. That's how far we are up north. So yeah, we had lost power for 4 days. We got it on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. It took us till Friday to actually get everything back in working order. Since it was March, it was not really 100% winter. We were very fortunate, and I use that word fortunate. I don't use the word lucky when I'm talking about this because we worked for what we have. Our house was built in 2009, so it was well insulated. It has a propane pig sitting in the back, 500 gallon pig, so it was full of propane. We have a propane fireplace in the living room. That kept us warm. Well, I didn't have heat. We didn't have a furnace. We didn't have a well because we didn't have power for the well pump. it was pretty interesting. The saving grace is that my wife and I were campers before we got more than one dog. We used to have 3. Now we're down to 2. And they keep it up, we'll be down to 1. Ah, I'm kidding. But yeah, that ice storm. So we just finished cleaning up after that yesterday. So that's all good for the HOA. The one lesson that my wife and I learned with that power outage is that we will never be without power again. We went out and bought a generator. And we had an electrician come out and wire up our house so we could plug that thing in and have power. So buying that generator, what that did for us was guarantee that we're never going to lose power again. Because I will have that generator underneath my workbench in the garage, and I'll probably never touch it. Because that's just how life goes. But that's all right. It was a learning experience. Certainly don't want to go through that again. That was not fun. But like I said, we had a hot meal every day. That was the important part. We had propane burners, we had plenty of clothes, we had plenty of heat that we could keep ourselves heated with. It was, the dogs didn't care, they enjoyed it. It got down to 52. That was the coldest it got in the house. And that was, like, again, pretty fortunate. That was all, that was the coldest it got. So we are gonna sign off for the day. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I gotta pee. And it is 7:45, so we've been out here almost half hour, so we're gonna go back. Again, it's buggy, and I gotta poop. Plus I'm hungry. Gotta see if we have some good eggs left. Let's have a good day. Make a lot of money. Make Daddy proud.